And to talk a bit more about what is happening in Ukraine, I'm very pleased to welcome live to the programme now Olga Oliker. She's the Europe Programme Director at the International Crisis Group. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, what do you think the significance is of Blinken's visit today?
I think it is very much meant to demonstrate continuing U.S. support for Ukraine, which certainly the difficulty in getting the aid package passed and the delays of half a year in doing so gave cause to worry that the United States isn't firmly behind Ukraine. So I think the Secretary of State's purpose in part is to say, we absolutely are. Of course, he does not control the Congress and he does not control the American electorate, which might change everything in November.
And as we saw in that report, Blinken's visit comes just days after Russia opened this new offensive in the northeast, in the Kharkiv region. How big a danger do you think that is now for the Ukrainian army?
So there was a lot of speculation that the Russians would move in the Kharkiv region and that this might be a place where they would test to see what the Ukrainians could and could not do to defend. We've heard speculation, including from Ukraine's military intelligence chief, that what they're trying to do is draw Ukrainian troops in that direction so they could launch other offensives elsewhere in Sumy Oblast and to press on in Donetsk Oblast. They might also just be indeed testing to see how far they can get, but before the weapons that the United States is sending are fully integrated into the Ukrainian arsenal.
Is there any reason to be concerned that Russia could capture the city itself, the city of Kharkiv, the second biggest in the country?
That would be a huge, huge, huge and ugly fight. And what we've seen Russia do to take cities is pretty much destroy them. I don't think that they are ready or interested in doing that with Kharkiv at present. They did a lot of damage to it back in 2022. The people of Kharkiv were able to rebuild a great deal. Kharkiv has been subject to bombing campaigns since. For Russia to actually launch a military campaign on that huge, very populated city, it would need to put a lot more resources into that particular fight than it has up until now.
All right. Something else we've been seeing this week is this shakeup at the top of the Russian military. Sergei Shoigu, a longtime ally of Vladimir Putin, he was in place as defense minister in Russia since 2012. He's now out on Putin's orders. Why, do you think?
Well, we've seen a couple of very senior defense ministry officials go down for corruption. One just the other day, one a few weeks ago, and that one was a very close associate of Mr. Shoigu. I think Shoigu is clearly a Putin loyalist, by all appearances, a close personal friend. He's been moved to head the National Security Council. He's been replaced by Andrei Belousov, a man whose experience is with economics and finance. So I think the message here is that Russia plans to keep this war going. It plans to make it economically sustainable. It wants it to continue to make sense. So that's where you put a technocrat and somebody who's good at the numbers in control of the MOD.
Olga Oliker, it's good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.